Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and March of the Lich King has been out for nearly a week, and I thought it would be time to go over my recommendations for which cards are the safest to craft, talking about epics and legendaries, because rares and commons, well, you're going to come across pretty easily, but the epics and legendaries, that's where things get really, you know, risky and interesting. So we're going to go through my recommendations for every class and the neutrals. We've already gone through one mini balance patch. There's another one coming. I'm keeping that in mind. I'll mention if a class or deck might get nerfed, but I want to give my recommendations as I'm asked these questions a lot. And as a reminder, if you enjoy this content and you feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit the subscribe button below. Drop a like on the video. It helps out a ton, and you guys have been hitting it a lot, so thank you guys for that. So starting off, we're actually going to look at the Path of Arthas. Before we get to March of Lich King, is a little bonus on top of it. In terms of epics, the only one I would really recommend is Blood Boil. Triple Blood Death-Knight, although not top tier, is pretty damn solid, and if you want to play that deck, Blood Boil is an absolute necessity. Again, this is if you haven't purchased Path of Arthas with gold already or with money, because then you get all of these cards with that. But if you haven't done it and you don't want to do that and you only want the specific card, well, I go with Blood Boil. Can consider Frostworms, Fury, and Might of Menethil because they are good in the Frost deck, but overall, Blood Boil is the real standout from here. For March of the Lich King itself, Unholy Death Knight really hasn't panned out yet, so Blightfang and Meat Grinder I'm not going to throw on the list. However, Alexandros Mograine has seen a lot of play in Blood Death Knight, and in particular with Denathrius getting hit. It makes it even more important to have this kind of late game finisher that applies pressure, deals 3 damage at the end of your turn, and is better than I thought, especially coupled with a card like Brand Bronzebeard. It stacks up pretty heavily. The other card absolutely required if you're playing again Triple Blood Death Knight is Soul Stealer. This card is insane. It's Twisting Nether that gives you a bunch of corpses, just super solid card. But again, be warned, Blood Death Knight, not top tier at the moment. I'd say like tier 3. You can win games, you can get legend with it. At the end of the day, the power level, not at the level of the other classes, which will probably get dialed back in the balance patch, probably coming next week, and then these cards will get even better. Demon Hunter actually got a good amount of cards, probably the best one being Unleash Fel. Quest Demon Hunter is back basically just because of that card. However, I gotta recommend Soul Eater Scythe, and by the way, why is this not golden? Let's fix that. Let's upgrade it. And yes, I recommend Soul Eater Scythe. It's a really fun deck. The Spell Demon Hunter, it's competitive. It's debatably not the best Demon Hunter deck with the resurgence of Quest Demon Hunter, which we might highlight sooner than later. It's just been becoming popular like the last day or two. But regardless, Soul Eater Scythe, changing 3 minions into souls, allowing yourself to run minions in a spell heavy deck that gets the upside of just spells. It's just rad. The card's sweet, and I definitely recommend this one. It is a safe craft if you like playing some Demon Hunter. Druid has 2 really good cards I'll recommend. The Under King, a 7-mana 6/6 undead rush minion. Battle Cry and Death Rattle gain 6 armor. You're removing something on the board. You're gaining 12 armor, giving yourself survivability, which is what that deck thrives on. Ramp Druid is incredibly good, and this is definitely a really good inclusion with it. And the big one, if you can only like craft one of them for whatever reason, Anub'arakok. This card is absolutely busted. 8 mana 7/7 undead. Battlecry gain 8 armor. This turn, your minions cost armor instead of mana. It's seen play in Wild as well. It's just ridiculous, especially the whole combo with Bran and Astalar. Exceptionally good card, and one that could get nerfed, honestly. I could see it happening at some point, and then you get your dust back on top of it. Just a really disgustingly good card, and if you want to play Druid, I gotta recommend it. It is really strong. For Hunter, with the recent nerf we got to Shock Spitter, I honestly not gonna recommend anything at the moment. Hope of Kel'Thuzad, I haven't seen it pop up whatsoever, and the Brightwing legendary here. That Arcane Hunter, not as good as it was before, so I probably hold off on Hunter cards unless you're a diehard Hunter enthusiast. And honestly, the same's gotta go with Mage. Mage, I hear nothing about Mage currently on the ladder. They got some cool cards in here. They might pop up eventually, but right now, again, I probably wouldn't recommend any Mage crafts. Paladin, on the other hand, they've got some good stuff. Blood Matriarch Liadrin is seeing, well, not that much play in Wild right now because Wild's literally broken, but it will see play in Wild once they like fix it a little bit. But even Standard, it's seeing play in Aggro paladin doing relatively well. And I mean, look at this. You don't have to get a diamond. That's like the whale version. I think you have to have all the cards, but ridiculously, I'm just like looking at it. But yeah, it's a really good card, but only if you like the aggro paladin variant that's going around. Would definitely recommend. And Anachronos is absolutely ridiculous in those control paladins, pure paladin. It sets your carriel up. It can temporarily deal with the board. I think this is going to be a mainstay in paladin for quite some time. So again, I think it's a relatively safe craft. For priest, there's only one card I will really recommend, that being Grave Dicking, the 4-mana epic spell. Draw 2 cards, costs 1. If a friendly undead died after your last turn, seen playing standard, seen playing wild. It's 1 mana, draw 2 with an undead condition. Not too hard to accomplish. Really solid card, but only for those fringe priest decks that aren't seeing a ton of play. An honorable mention to Sister Svalna. There's like an OTK deck that's like semi-competitive with it. I see people memeing around with wild. You can have fun with this card, but this is more of like a meme consideration, but you might want to give it a go, especially with the whole Radiant Elemental shenanigans. Rogue, well, yeah, Rogue, Shadow of Demise. If you're playing Rogue, you want this card in your collection. Amazing in standard, amazing in wild. I expect nerfs to be hitting Rogue. In particular, we'll talk about that probably in the video tomorrow. Just the outright broken things Rogue are doing right now are ridiculous, and Shadow of Demise is a part of it, but it doesn't matter what gets nerfed or what happens to Rogue. This card is going to be a big player in Rogue. It's just ridiculously good, and the same can go for this ugly signature version. But regardless, Potion Master, Putricide, the Concoction Generator, another incredibly powerful card. One of the best legendaries of this set. If you want to play Rogue, if other archetypes get nerfed, you can throw the Concoction package into everything, and this guy, again, is the best part of all of it. You will not go wrong. You could consider Vile Apothecary. I see most lists that run the Concoction package don't even really run this, so you could probably pass on it, honestly, unless you just really want it. For Shaman, I'll throw RegisKillbin. It's pretty good in like those evolved swarm decks and all that, but like, yeah, Shaman, again, pretty irrelevant so far this expansion, and a lot of these cards not so hot. Warlock, there's a Devour Souls OTK going around with like mines, but honestly, outside of playing wild and playing Soul Barrage, there isn't really tons of new stuff I would recommend quite yet. The Amorphous Slime and Darkon Drathir thing isn't really coming together, at least that I'm aware of. So honestly, Warlock, probably a pass. And I mean, Warrior, I mean, some of these cards are okay, but I'm not going to recommend a single Warrior card. Again, Warrior is in a rough spot. So you can see a lot of classes are kind of just left out right now by my recommendations. They're just, these cards aren't really worth it. The neutral collection is actually pretty subpar in terms of epics and legendaries. Obviously, Astalor, Autocraft, ridiculously good card. Now that Denathrius has been nerfed, it is now the most played card so far in Hearthstone. It's the highest one, and for good reason. You get armor gain, you get insane damage. Druid can abuse it with Bran and all sorts of OTK shenanigans. If you're on the fence at all about Astalor, it is absolutely 100% a safe craft, an unbelievably good card. But honestly, looking through like the remaining epics, like Enchanter, pretty good in certain decks, but overall it's more of a fringe kind of craft. Hawkstrider Rancher, if you're playing aggressive decks, is incredible. This card will get better over time too. You definitely wouldn't feel bad crafting this one. Definitely the best epic in the neutral set. But even cards like Bone Lord, not working out, thankfully. That card is just kind of toxic in nature. Lorthamar, haven't seen a really good list pop up to make it look good. By the way, compare a diamond version to signature. It's just, what are you doing, Blizzard? Anyways, and the Invincible. The Invincible is another card I thought would be popping up a bit more, but has not seen a ton of play outside of like a scam Death Rattle Rogue deck. So overall, you can see there's not that many auto must crafts from this expansion, but thought I'd give you guys my take on all of it, and hopefully some of the card quality here will improve when other stuff gets dialed back in that balance patch we're going to expect in about a week or so. And yes, we'll speculate on that probably tomorrow, so stay tuned. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.